Hey, my Liptons. So to me, initially I was like, you know what, I'm not gonna make this video because I'm just like, I already done videos on the past about this whole student loan situation on my YouTube channel. So I was just like, you know what, if anybody wants to hear my thoughts on it, let them just go watch my old videos about how I really feel. But the more I think about it, and then I was watching this YouTuber, and she put both sides of like how people feel about student loans and student loan debt and canceling student loans and blah 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 blah. The fact that there's even a both sides to this situation is so, at this point, like, I'm not gonna lie to you, I feel like there shouldn't even be a debate at this point when it comes to this. We're so far beyond that. To me, at least, I feel like I'm so far beyond the debating and the, oh well, let's have a competitive argument about on whether we should cancel student loans or not. I feel like this is so 2016, 2017 debates. I feel like in this moment right now, it's like you either get out of my way or I'm gonna get through you. So it's just I'm just on that kind of time right now, as far as like politically on how I feel about these situations, and the fact that the Trump administration. First of all, let's just be very clear. Of course, because currently the Trump administration, but all of these presidents have not done bourgeoisie, nothing when it came to the student loans in this country. Student loans has continued. First of all, I don't even think that there should be any student loans. I think all colleges should be free, top to bottom. 2-year colleges, 4-year colleges, point blank period. I feel like they should all be free. That's just right off the bat. That's just me personally. I feel like education should be free across the board. If you want children to get fucking degrees and to learn and to get into STEM and to get into, IT and tech and all these different things and getting into these spaces where they actually know shit, how about you make it accessible to them so that they can have the knowledge and have the books and have the proper teaching that can get them to that point. But when you're setting up these fucking barriers like fucking student loans, of course people are either not gonna go to fucking school because they don't want to be in debt. They don't want to be in debt with the government. Or you're gonna have people that are gonna be taking out these huge amount of loans, no, like, and then afterwards realizing that they might not even get the career that they want with that degree. So now they're just sitting there with those student loans and it's just piling up. And on top of that, we got to also add in the sinful part of it. Well, one, I actually think all of this stuff is sinful, but we got to add the cherry on top with the sinfulness when it comes to interest. Like, y'all just adding interest on top of the loan. So y'all just pure, inhumane, like, just capitalist. And at this point, I just feel like if people do not change the system, we're gonna continue to get fucked and to get fucked and to get fucked. So let's get into this, because when was this? Earlier this week or last week, the Trump administration announced that, like, they're resuming the student loans, and as y'all know, Linda McMahon, by the way, Linda McMahon, and let me just say this, right? Because I remember in the first Trump administration, what was her name? Betsy DeVos. She was the one that was the education secretary at the time. But now it's Linda McMahon. I will say this. I actually feel like this era, Trump 2.0 era, when it comes to like student loans and education, it's going to be way worse than it was in the first term. Because one, Betsy DeVos was a dummy, whereas Linda McMahon is not. I've known Linda McMahon prior to her even getting into politics. Like, I've been watching, if y'all know anything about the wrestling business, we know the McMahon family, the ones that are into the wrestling stuff. I know the McMahon family, obviously, through what I watch and the research and everything like that. I grew up a wrestling fan, so I know this family top to bottom. Linda McMahon is one of the smartest people. This is what makes this very, very, unfortunately, is going to be very damaging to a lot of working class people. Linda McMahon is very smart. She's very calculated. She knows what she's doing, compared to the last education secretary, Betsy DeVos, in the first Trump administration. Linda McMahon is a different kind of snake. She's a different kind of snake, okay? So she's definitely gonna get her way. She's a very smart woman. She's been in this political game for a while. She's been in the background. I would say that she's been in the background. So she knows what she's doing. And unfortunately, I do think that a lot of her agenda, which also aligns with the Trump agenda, will unfortunately get through. So with them, so let's get to this article. So it says this by NPR. The Trump administration to resume collections on student loan borrowers in default, okay? After a 5-year hiatus, the U.S. Department of Education says it will begin resuming collections of defaulted student loans on May 5th, okay? Mind you, May 5th is literally like a graduation date for like grad students and stuff like that. Like, could you imagine, like, grad students in college, like, could you imagine your loans is getting, and then by next thing you know, the next day, they're gonna start taking shit out your wages to pay off your student loans? That is just crazy to me. Of the more than 42.7 million student loan borrowers in the United States who owe a collective of 1.6 trillion, okay? The department says that more than 5 million have not made a payment in the past year. That number is expected to grow as an additional 4 million borrowers are approaching default status. This is Linda McMahon. American taxpayers will no longer be forced to serve as collateral for irresponsible student loan policies. Okay, this is what Linda McMahon says. Let's keep going. I'm gonna drag her for that statement because y'all have no problem using American taxpayers to give to Ukraine and to give to Israel. Right? Y'all have no issues with that. Y'all have no issue. You know what? Let's get into it. The department says it will begin notifying borrowers who are in default via email over the next 2 weeks, urging them to make payment or to enroll in a repayment plan, and referring them to government website providing information on how to do so. Then on May 5th, the department will be referring borrowers who remain in default to a collections program run by the Treasury Department. This could not have come at a worse time for millions of Americans, said Asa, a policy director for Student Loan Borrower Protection Center, a nonprofit group that aims to reduce student debt. Those borrowers, she added, are already finding themselves having to navigate such incredible economic uncertainty over the last few months. She also points to the fact that older borrowers tend to face the greatest struggles in repaying their loans. Nearly 40% of federal borrowers over the age of 65 were in default on their student loans, according to a 2017 report from the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau. These older folks who are on fixed incomes, she says, when borrowers fall behind, Benise added, their credit scores take a hit, making it harder to qualify for more credit and other loans for things like housing and other basic needs. The Department of Education said in its notice that later this summer it will begin the process of garnishing wages, meaning payments will be automatically deducted from borrowers' paychecks, okay? So they're literally going to, hold on, let me add Trump's dumbass to this, to the thumbnail as well. So they're going to be garnishing people's wages if they don't start paying off the student loans. You know, and this is why, like, I say, like, I'm so far beyond this, the whole debating thing and let's show two sides and let's see what the people who are pro student loans and pro people paying back their student loans. I'm so far beyond that because I feel like we were having these debates back in like 2016, 2017. And I'm like, listen, the arguments were said. It is what it is. Most Americans are struggling. Even more so now, they're struggling right now. What Americans need right now is a bailout. Working class Americans need a bailout. The same way the United States government bails out banks, bails out Wall Street, bails out these corporations, bails out these billionaires, giving all kinds of, y'all use American taxpayer dollars funding wars non-stop, literally since after World War II, going from Vietnam onwards. Y'all have been funding all kinds of bullshit. But when it comes for some moral things like education, which is something that people, children, kids, young adults need, adults need, y'all act as if y'all don't even know where we're going to get the money from. Is the money going to grow on trees? Y'all act as if we don't know how to do it. But when it comes to building a fucking bomb, when it comes to doing things like that, y'all know where to find the money. Y'all have the money. When it comes to putting money into the Pentagon, when it comes to putting money into the military industrial complex, y'all have the money for that. But when it comes to helping working class Americans, mind you, working class Americans who bust their ass day in and day out, who pay more taxes than these billionaires and millionaires, y'all can't find the time for it. And here's what it is. And I think that a lot of people, and this is the part where I do want people, and I'm talking about like the constituents, the regular people, like, y'all, we need to put our petty, like, differences when it comes to, like, oh my God, like, yo, this like, snowflake liberal, or like, oh my God, you I don't know, you fascist, what do they call the people on the right, the people, they call MAGA cults and blue MAGA and stuff like. Y'all need to put y'all differences aside. If y'all don't start looking, if we don't come together and start looking up at the top and seeing the games that are being played, the government continues to play in our face day in and day out for decades. And we're out here fighting each other instead of looking up. That's why they're shook about this whole Luigi Mangione situation. And trying to give him capital punishment. Y'all need to start looking up. Instead of instead of all of us punching down, we need to start punching up. Because these people, these Linda McMahons of the world with her fake ass like PR stuff, oh my God, we don't want the American taxpayer paying for education. Bitch, you don't want the American, are you going to have that same energy when the American taxpayer dollars is funding bombs and funding the Pentagon and funding the military industrial complex, but you're mad the American taxpayer dollars paying for education? It's absolutely ridiculous. And it's, I don't know, like, our society is so backwards. It is so backwards. And here's my thing. I did see a few people, and it's unfortunate, I did see a few people on TikTok, they're so stupid. They're saying, oh, well, why can't they pay off their student loans? People that take out student loans, mind you, these are fuckers that never went to college a day in their lives, but they want to talk about our fucking problems. They're like, oh, well, if we take out a house loan or a car loan, we have to pay those back. Y'all need to pay back the student loans. And this is where like the pathological stuff comes into play with those kind of, when I hear those kinds of statements. This is where like the inhumanity part and the immorality part comes to play with some people who don't have any fucking empathy or sympathy for people who desperate times comes for desperate measures, right? When you've been taught all your life, right, that hey, like, you getting your bachelor's degree, you getting your master's, you getting your PhD, you getting your doctorate, that is what's going to get you your career. So you know what? Go to school, take out these loans. At the end, it will benefit you. At the end, don't worry about it. Everything will be okay. There's always a light at the end of the tunnel. That's what we've been taught all our lives, right? So we do it. I followed the blueprint, me included. So when we followed that blueprint and now, okay, we're at the tunnel and there's no light, here comes the freaking slum drowning us, which is the student loans. And it's like, wait a minute, where is this light? Where's the light at the end of the tunnel that we were taught, that we all believed that was supposed to come? And here's also another thing. I hate this idea that, oh, well, I paid off my student loans, so I can. It's almost as if like, oh, well, if I was able to kind of, and I'm using this just as an analogy. Oh, well, if I was able to beat off the flu by myself with my own immune system, why should you guys have like a cure for it, or like a flu vaccine or something like that? Like, why should you guys have like a remedy for it if I was able to do it on my own body was able to kind of do it? And it's just like, I hate that kind of mentality. I hate that kind of mentality because it's saying like, oh well, if I suffered, then why can't you suffer? It's like, no, like if we can make things better for the next person, if we know how much that we suffered and how much that we went through, we want to hope that the next generation can have it a little bit easier. And I don't understand what is this like. I don't know. It's almost like this weird, like bitter jealousy thing about like people wanting their student loans to get canceled. At the end of the day, if this policy goes through, it's going to fuck so many people up. And I think that that's something that people are not understanding. And I don't even think that you should be able to put yourselves in somebody's shoes, like to understand. It's like, this is common sense. And then on top of that, let's also talk, let's also add this in. Other countries, many developed countries have free education, free pre-K, free K through 12, free college, free 2-year, 4-year colleges. Do we want to go through the list? All the European countries that have free colleges, and we don't hear no complaints from those people. We don't hear no complaints about those people talking about, oh, we don't want our taxpayer dollars paying for education. Look at Canada, the same thing. So it's like, how come? Why? The United States does a lot of bragging about, oh my God, we're so amazing. The United States is so amazing. We're the richest countries in the world. We're the richest country in the world, but yet we can't pay for education. We're the richest country in the world, but yet we're continuing to tax and manipulate the working class folks into taking out all these crazy ass student loans and forcing them and leaving them with this debt that is literally going to stress them out and ruin their lives and cause all kinds of mental health issues. So to me, I just feel like this idea that there can't be any free college because, oh, well, it is possible. We're just choosing not to do it. It's very possible. It's very possible to cancel student loans. A Democratic president, a Republican president, hell, Trump right now could do it by the snap of his fingers. He can sign an executive order by the snap of his fingers. He can do that right now, but he's choosing not to do it. He's choosing not to do it. But Trump will do meme coins and scam his followers or his cult members. Trump will bail out his billionaire buddies. Trump will bail out the banks. Trump will give money to Israel. Trump will give money to Ukraine. He can do all those things, but he won't be able to cancel our student loans. And on top of that, now you have this snake of a woman, Linda McMahon, over here about to rip through the whole, and mind you, they signed a whole, Trump signed a whole executive order dismantling the Department of Education. I'm sure that's going to go through the courts and things like that. But there's just so much happening right now. Mind you, the Department of Education is already not funded as it is. So it's like the fact that y'all signed an executive order dismantling the Department of Education, and what Linda McMahon wants is, what she wants is charter schools. She wants charter schools and private schools. That's what she wants. Y'all can go look through her record. So it's a mess. I hate that, I continue to talk about these things where it's like student loans is something where it's a touch. Because one, for me personally, it's something that I'm going through. I have student loans. And I know there's so many other people. I could not be, honestly, I could not imagine me being 65 and still having student loans. That is insane to me. That is insane to me. But all we can, like I said, and I said this before and I said it again, I'll say it again. I think that this is only going to get worse before it gets better. And I do feel like we do need to thug this out. But as far as when it comes to student loans, y'all, I'm going to be honest with you. Unless we get a candidate that stands on business and stands on principle and be cancel, let's cancel $10,000 like what Joe Biden. No, stand on it. Canceling student loans is a popular issue. It's a popular policy. When you can't cancel all student loans. No 10,000, no 50. No, cancel that shit. If we can pay for other people, if we can bail other people out, we can bail out the working class American that busts their behinds every day. in the workforce and paying their taxes. They pay more taxes than these billionaires and millionaires. Let them, let's bail them out. Let's give them this. Hell, honestly, quite frankly, it's the least that y'all can do. If we really think about it at this point, canceling student loans is really a bone. Like, can we be honest? We haven't even gotten to healthcare. We haven't even gotten to housing, our food. We haven't even gotten to our some nitty gritty shit. But don't get me wrong, education is very important, very very important. So if you really think about it, this quite frankly the least that y'all can do is cancel student loans. But I know already. I already started with the fact that it's not going to come from this administration. So I'm just going to be out here roasting them and dragging them and cursing them out. Linda McMahon, you're a snake. And Triple H had the audacity. I talked about this in my. I didn't talk about it in my my WWE Hall of Fame review, but Triple H had the audacity to talk about some. Oh, Linda, like, because Linda McMahon is his mother-in-law. Oh, Linda McMahon, what you're doing for your country is so amazing, and I'm like, what is so amazing that Linda McMahon is doing? She literally is in support of dismantling the Department of Education, forcing the working class Americans on taking their wages to pay off their student loans, which is going to leave them without paying their rent, food, all those different things. What is so great about that? Tell me. What is so great? I can't with these people. And it's like, and the thing is too, these people really think that they're invincible. That's the thing. Like, these politicians, like, these people at the top, they really think that they're gods or something. God forgive me. They really think they're invincible. And it's like, no, baby, what goes up must come down. And that's the part that makes me sleep well at night, and that's the silver lining, I guess. These people, they're evil as fuck, but eventually they will get theirs. Point blank, period. Either way, you guys tell me what you guys think in the comment section below. Please like, comment, subscribe to the channel. Let's get up to 2,000 subscribers, and I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.